Hello, this is a tutorial about how to make an sfz file. This is how to make hopefully you know how to make an sf2 file. This is only how to make it an sfz. You need to know how to make an sf2 file in order to understand half of it. So if you don't know how to, search Vienna or sf2 file editor and see it before you make an sfz file, and hopefully you know it now. Sorry for my English, I'm not used to talk in English all the time. This is not my mother tongue, and I will try to speak slowly. Hopefully it will be understandable. Now I use sfz designer to import the files, and then I remap it using a text editor, because in sfz file you need a text editor to map it. And hopefully in the next version you can do it. You will be able to do it all in the program. But for now there's some lacking. It's not working like it should be working. So let's do it. This is sfz designer. I will import samples for it and make an sfz file. Now the first thing you need to realize, and what are the problems, is when you import samples, it will map all the samples to all the key range, and you don't want it like this. You want it on separate keys or couple of keys. You don't want everything to map to everything. So we need to change it afterwards in the text editor just to remap everything, because you can see here it's from D3 to A4. This is the blue one. If we change it from C to C, let's change it from C to C. This is C and this is C. We change it from C to C, and the center is G4. This is the center, and we don't want it like this. We want everything to be in a single key. And the next thing is the velocity layer. If you push once, it will make a velocity layer. If you want another velocity layer, you just click the plus button, and if you don't want it, just lower it all the way down. Now if you want to import for a velocity layer samples, you push the velocity layer that you want to import samples to, double click it and browse. I believe the next version, I'm using 2 point something, the next version you can import from the browser. Now I will not use BD3, I will only use 2 round robin for everything. So I'll take this outside. Round robin is the samples that will be played on every key. If you have round robin of 2, it will change 2 samples on every key. If you have round robin of 4, it will change 4 samples for every key. Now what it will do, and this is the problem, it has round robin of 9, because all of that are in the same key. It will, when you push every single key of this, every single key that you push, it will play the first time the BD1, second time the BD2, third time the tom 1, fourth time tom 2, and all the way. We don't want it. We want round robin of 2, because we have only 2 bass drum. and only high toms, only 2 high toms, and only 2 low toms, and etc. So we need to change, the first thing is to change round robin to 2 and remap everything. Now this is blank, we need to delete it and then save it, export sfz. Now I made a couple of recording that didn't turn out well, so we'll make 5 now. And we need to go to the folder and open in the text editor number 5. For me, I need to select everything and move it to the left. What we can see here is group number 1, which is here. All of the samples are on group number 1. If I will close it, all of the samples are on group number 1 and mapped to everything from start to end. We don't want it like that. So this is the group number 1, and this is C to C. And this is the general settings. We'll leave it for now. We only need the release afterwards. I will show you how to use it. It doesn't work. The release doesn't work on the general settings. And now we go to the group 1, and this is the main group settings. It will affect everything underneath the group, which is group 1 for now. And the first thing we need to do is remap everything to single key. Every single sample need to remap to single key. The way to do it is to change the high key. We need the GM table. You need to download the GM table for drums, and this is general MIDI for drums. And you can see that 35 and 36 are bass drums. Now let me explain. If somebody will make a MIDI file with the bass drum for acoustic bass drum, it will not play if you don't have any sample here. It will play only if you have a sample for bass drum on 36, and vice versa. So what I do is, in order for all the files to work in GM, General MIDI, for all the files to work, I usually map everything to, like, all the bass drums to the bass drums, and all the low toms. As you can see, the low toms are 41 and 33. So I don't have a high flow tom, so I will map the flow tom to 41 and to 43. The low toms for me are 45 and 47, and the high toms for me is 48 and 50. In that way, every time, every MIDI that will be played, every general MIDI that will be played, I will not miss any of the samples, any of the hits, any of the MIDI. And if I will hear something that's wrong, I will change it. I will transpose the MIDI events. But if the mid-tom are on 47 and I will only put the mid-tom on 45, I will not hear anything. So I will not know even that the MIDI is playing something. It will be missed. So in that way, I can always know what's going on. So again, bass drum, those two, snare are 37 to 40, flow toms 41, 43, low tom, mid toms 45 and 47, and high toms 48 and 50. Let's see how to do it. Now, if I want to make the bass drum, sorry, if I need to make the bass drum on 35 and 36, let's say for now 35, I need to change the high key to 35, the low key to 35, and the center key to 35. But there is a shorter version. If I would delete the high and only take the key and Control C, and delete the low key and the pitch center key and only leave the key, then this is the short version of, if you only write key 35, it will map the low key to 35, high key to 35, and center key to 35. This is the short version on how to do it. So I'll copy it and move along. Now, the region are the samples. We have BD1 and we need to map it to key number 35. Now, here, if I would write key 35, it will map everything under the group to key 35. So we need to delete it from here. And we need to write it underneath the region for every sample. Let's say here I will have to push end to go to the end key goes to the end of the line, and then enter and then Control V. Sometimes it makes a space in different places, so push the end if that happens. And this is for key 35. BD1 will play on key 35. Now, this is the sequence position. Sorry, I forgot. Sequence length. This is the round robin. How much round robin do you have? So for us it's BD1, BD2, so we have only 2 round robin. This is the main round robin. It will tell him how much samples to look for every key. If we write 2, it will look only for 2 samples for every key. Now, BD1 is on key 35 and the sequence position is 1. It's okay. BD2 needs to be again on 35. Go to end, enter, Control V, and sequence position 2. Now, I will map it, as I said before. Wait, I'll close one of those, sorry. I will map it also to 36, the same bass drum, because I don't have any different one, so I will just make sure that the general MIDI will work. And how to do it? I will copy it, leave one space underneath, Control C, and then Control V, and just change it to 36. Now I have on 35, change the wrong one. Now I have on 35, I have sequence position 1 and sequence position 2 on 35, and on 36 I have sequence position 1 and sequence position 2. Now if I will save it and import it like so, 5, oops, you will see bass drum 1 and bass drum 2 on C, and on here there's nothing. It doesn't change. I don't know why everything is white for now. It doesn't do it all the time, but you can see on C there's bass drum 1 and 2 changing, and on B, which is 35, bass drum 2 and bass drum 1 is changing. None of it change in any other samples. Now let's continue. The high tone, sorry. Next one is high tone. High tone 1 and high tone 2. The high tones are 48 and 50. So we go to high tone 1 and copy the key, go to the end, enter Ctrl V and change it to 48. And I can copy it and go to the end, Ctrl V, 38. Now the sequence position is 4 and 5. It will not look for 4 and 5 because it's only looking in the group. Sorry, at the group is only looking for 1 and 2. It will not look any higher than 2. So the high tones need to be changed from high tone 1 to be 1, sample 1, round robin 1, and the high tone 2 need to be 2. Now I will copy it again, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and enter, so it will make a space, and make sure it's supposed to be 50. So sorry, this is high tone 1, something I didn't make it. Oh, sorry, I forgot to paste. Control C. .48. Now I need to change it to 50. So end, enter, Control V, 50, and the 48 to 50. Now the sample high tone 1 is sequence 1 on 50, on key 50, and the 2 on 50 is sequence position 2. Control S, and let's see. This is the 48, and this is the 50. Now I don't know why I don't have any sound. Sorry, I forgot. I have a problem with the screen capture, so I lowered the volume. So I guess you have samples. You can hear it. I know it's short. I will show you how to fix it afterwards. Now let's continue. We finished the high tones. Now we go into the low tones. The same thing. The low tones for me are 41 and 43. So the first low tone 1, needs to be 41, and the second low tone, let's copy it, needs to be also, and enter, Control V, 41. But the sequence position is 5 and 6. We need to change it again to 1 and 2. Now copy it. This is only for me. You don't need to do it if you don't want the general MIDI to work all the time. And Control V and enter, so we have a space here. Now we need to change it to 43. This is the next flow tone. So the low tone is 33, and the next low tone is also 33. Now Control S, and you will see that this is the bass drum 1 and 2, And this is the flow tone. This is the first flow tone, low tone 1 and low tone 2, changing. And this is the second one, low tone 1 and low tone 2. On here, there's nothing. So let's map the midtones, which midtone 1, let's copy it, Control C, midtone 1, oops, push the wrong button, and enter Control V. And forgot to show you, it needs to be on 30, this is the mid, 40, 45 and 47. So we change it to 45 and Control C and enter Control V and copy everything, Control C and Control V, and change it to 47. And save. Now everything is mapped. After all the samples are mapped, everything is showing. This is the midtone. This is the first midtone, which is not working. I will find out why next. And this is the low tones. The low tones are working, and the high tones. So I did something. Sorry. Sequence position I didn't change. It needs to be 1 and 2 because it will not look for them unless it will be only 1 and 2. Control C, because again on the group settings I only said for him to look for only 1 and 2. If it would be 4, it would look for 1, 2, 3 and 4. And now it should play. Did save? Wait, did I save? Now I saved. Low tone, mid-tone 2 is working, but not the, sorry, I've changed only 1, sorry, because I copied it. So again, 7 to 1, because this is the mid-tone 1, change it to sequence position 1, and this is the 2. Sequence position 2, and then save it again, sorry, and it's supposed to work at 35. 35 is A and 47 is B. Let's see, this is A, midtone, and this is B, midtone, and that's it, it's working. Now the only thing is missing, I will have a listen, you will have a feedback, sorry, and my earphones are not connected. We need to change the release. Let's see that first. This is short. I will lower the volume. This is short. Now we need to change the MPEG release, Control C, I will copy it and put it underneath the group. Let's put it at push end, enter, Control V. Now change it to 5, will make everything in the group have a release of 5, and then save. Now I will bring up the volume. You will see it's very long. I push short click and everything is long. And this is it. This is how to make an SFZ file with SFZ Designer and monitoring it at sforzando real time. Thanks for watching.